Good morning, guys. Summer here, owner of Greensboro Downtown Yoga. Excited to come to you today for our stretch and recover class. It's Friday here in my world, and all week we have been celebrating National Parks Week. And we are going to finish today. We have been exploring the Everglades, and I'm thinking that in the Everglades there's a lot of birds. There's this big alligator, so we're going to do a lot of long, lengthening, chest opening, like we're a soaring bird. It's going to be lovely today. If you want to hang out with us more often and know what we're doing when we're doing it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it below so you get always notified when we add stuff. And then, as always, a huge, truly heartfelt thank you to each and every single one of you who has donated or is joining me for these live classes. It really does mean the world to me to see those numbers on our video views go up. It means a lot to see and know that you guys financially are supporting small businesses like us. So if you do feel empowered or inspired, we have a donation link in the description below. And like I said, it means the world to us. Let's get ready to stretch, relax, recover, and breathe. You notice I have 2 blocks here. If you don't have blocks in your arsenal of toys at home, you can use some makeshift items. You might have a book that could work in this. I know it sounds a little silly, but I've done it. It works. Or pillows or something like that. We're not going to start with this right away, but I want you to see that you're going to need something that's going to eventually be able to take you maybe on this height or this height right there. All right? But we're going to start on our backs. We're not going to take a nap. Although it's Friday, that would be really nice. Now we're going to focus on our breath. Feel the rise and fall of your belly. Maybe you've had a really stressful week. You want to place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly to really see and feel where your breath is coming from. In times of stress and worry, we oftentimes start breathing from our chest versus our tummy and our diaphragm. Don't judge, just notice. We're in a really stressful time in our world right now. It's impacting each and every one of us in a different way. Maybe you laugh, maybe you get mad, maybe your anxiety gets high. How is all of that impacting your breathing? Sometimes the best thing that we can do is just breathe. Reach your arms long overhead. Your legs go away from you and just feel the length. Feel that long stretch from finger to toe. I like to move my ankles, start to move your wrists, lengthen from side to side. Just kind of make this feel good to you. It doesn't have to look or feel a certain way. It's just what your body needs. Bring your knees to your chest. Rock gently from side to side. Feel your back into the floor. Giving yourself a little massage right here. Open your arms back out, or open your arms out to the side. Let your knees fall to one side. Turn your head and look over the opposite shoulder. Allow your body to just fall where it naturally does. Don't force anything. Let your mind and body be calm and relaxed. Bring your knees back to center. Take them to the other side. Feeling this great rotation in the middle of your back, starting to open up your chest. Today I don't have a single flow for us, meaning it really is about our breath and our stillness. Like that alligator, it's just very still under the swampy waters of the Everglades. Your knees back to center. Hug them in. Roll onto your right side. They say that's the side where the blood goes away from the heart, so it's safer to come up to seated from there. I'm going to take a block. If you have one, I would encourage you to. And sit on top of it. Legs crossed. Just find a seated, tall position. Notice again your breath. How is it different in this position seated versus where you just were lying? Roll your shoulders to your ears, slide them down your back. Do that just a few times, big shoulder rolls. One of the important things of getting into deeper stretches and moving the body is a little bit of heat generating. So while I don't want to do flows or big movements like that today, I do want to generate just enough heat that we can stretch. Look down to the floor. Keep your arms stable. Tuck your chin. Look up to the sky. Be proud and open in the chest. Arms reach out to the side. Tuck your chin, look down. Maybe you change this into like a little cat and cow, where you arch your back and your chin tucks in, and then you lift your chest. It's what feels good for you. Maybe you just want it to be that head movement. Center and look over your right shoulder. Ooh, that's a kind of exciting moment for me. Come back center. Go the other side. So in November, I tore a ligament in my neck. For those who haven't heard the story, between C4 and C5. For 7 weeks, I sat on the couch. I couldn't move, I couldn't drive, I couldn't do anything. I could move my head 9 degrees. So that's here to about here. That's all the movement I had. And I was in constant pain. So getting this far is really an exciting moment for me. Functional range is what they call 70 degrees of rotation. You should be able to see over your back shoulder. If you can't, that starts to put forward rounding into our body. It prevents our rotation of our spine. Let's do one. Back to center. Tip your head. It's why you hear me in so many other classes talk about moving your head with movement, with your moves, because we want to work this range. I was about 80% better when my physical therapist and I had to stop working together because of COVID. And unfortunately, without manual work, I can tell it's not 100%. But we do what we have to. Let's come back together. Interlace your hands together behind your back. Open your chest. Look to the sky. Squeeze your hands together. I didn't mention, the reason I'm sitting on top of a block is because it opens up the hips to have a little bit of elevation. So you could do this sitting on top of a blanket, sitting on top of a pillow that doesn't get too squishy. Just anything that kind of elevates your hips a little bit. Release. Rotate, look over your back shoulder. So we're getting movement into the mid-back here. Other side. So in addition to that torn ligament between C4 and C5, I have 3 bulging discs between C4 and C7, and I get this tingly into my hand. And it's really quite fascinating to me that through this, I have gotten so tight in my rotation that they actually think that is the reason that I'm getting the tingly into my fingers. So if you, I'm not saying that's you, remember I'm not a doctor, I don't diagnose, that's just been my experience. Last one. But it's an interesting thing to think about, is that our rotation around the mid-back is so important. So as we look at heart opening, we're going to do one thing on all fours. If you want a moment of cat and cow, take it. Here's why not, we're here. This was actually one move that the physical therapist really wanted me to do a lot of. And I was like, oh good, I'm glad I love yoga. Let's come to neutral. Lift your left arm to the sky. Rotate, look to the hand, and then you're going to thread your arm through so you reach to your back ankle. It's a little bit different than what you might be used to. Reach through. We are going to thread the needle, but not quite yet. Lift back to the sky, open up. So you notice I just took my knees wider. That's my way to get more rotation in my back as I start using my hips. So other side. So like right here is where we should be rotating around. Push the hand into the floor. Open up. Thread through. Come back to center. Lower. Let's do that one more time on each side. Just at your breath, at your movement. So we're getting expansion and rotation so that in a moment we can get into this really great heart opener. Use your breath. Come down. Take your your left arm, and let's thread through. So now thread the needle. Our head rests on the ground. Your top arm, I want everyone to just place it on the floor in front of you. Maybe you start to reach it out straight. That's just where I want you to find right now. Breathe. Now place Place your right hand on the floor. Start to push into it and notice how your shoulder starts to open. One thing that oftentimes happens is people go immediately into wanting to do this bind, but you're still forward. And the bind is really about opening up through the chest and pushing that shoulder back. So maybe you don't want to bind, but you want to push into the floor. To me, that's such a lovely spot. And you should feel lift on the bottom oblique, rotation right here on this side oblique. And you can kind of rock back on your head. Come back to center, square yourself, and go to the other side. So thread your arm through. Reach your arm in front of you to start. So that left arm is reached in front. Place your hand on the floor and right at your shoulder. Press in and start to rotate. Binds are fantastic, but when you're really tight in your shoulders and your chest, which most of us are, they actually do more harm than good. And doing something like this, where you're starting to get that rotation into your side and into your shoulder, is a better place to be. Lower down, come back to center, just sit back into a child's pose. Come to a kneeling position, sitting on top of your knees. Again, if you have a block, here's a great opportunity to use it. I'm actually going to use two. You sit on top. So this is what we call hero pose. You could be all the way down, sitting on top of your feet, or elevated as much as I am. And I'm just going to kind of take it down as I sit here a little bit longer. But our quads, we're starting to feel openness into our quads and our hips. Sorry, sports bra challenge. We know, those know that world. Take your hands to your heels and lift and look to the sky. So you have this little arch in your back, a squeeze of your shoulder blades together. Release, sit tall, roll your shoulders out. I'm going to go a notch lower. So the important thing here is that we do focus on our knees being forward. Sit up tall, hands come behind us, arch and look to the sky. So it's a little baby back bend. We're feeling the mid-back lift up as we look to the sky. Our shoulder blades pinch together, and we feel our throat open as we look back. Release. Rotate, look over one shoulder. Exhale the other. Come back to center. Lift the chest tall. I'm going to come off the block like that. And take the block so it's on your back. Let's actually go long ways with it. This might be nice. What's really nice is if you have a foam roller, but I'm going to show it to you with these blocks. I've got some foam rollers over in the corner right there that I could show you with, but I'm just going to use this. So we place these blocks that way. Geometry was not my strong suit, or math. Fingertips come behind your ears. You're resting your back so that you can let your arms, or excuse me, you're arching your back so that you can rest your arms on the ground. Feet are flat on the floor, and the blocks are kind of mid-back range. We're just going to stay right here. Tuck your chin. Best way to get out of this, I have found, just kind of bring your elbows under your chin tucks. We're going to sit up tall. Lift your chest. You're going to let the blocks be a little higher on your back now. So I'm just going to do that by scooching my hips forward a little bit. So we're going to lean back again. Now, if you start to feel dizzy and lightheaded because you do have this position back, option is to be less reclined. So take a pillow or something. Fingertips are going to be behind ears again, same position. And now you're getting that same arch. But notice because the blocks are now up in that upper back, kind of right between your shoulder blades, it's a harder place to get your elbows to the floor. But try. I'm really supporting my head with my hands right here. If I had a squishy ball, that's probably what I would use to support myself, or a pillow, but I don't. Press both elbows down. Notice, like for me, my right elbow wants to come up more, which is fascinating for me today because my left side is my bad side. Oh, I'll try to stop saying that. My left side is my tighter side, but my right side is my dominant side, so. Breathe. Bend your elbows, come up and out of that. Find just a tall seated position to kind of recenter yourself. Shut your eyes and breathe. We're going to allow that to go just a little bit deeper, or a little bit different, I guess. I'm going to take the blocks. Now it's parallel to my mat. Ooh, parallel horizontal. Figured it out. Yay. Sorry. And you're going to kind of place it in the mid back. This is really your choice. Start with your feet flat on the floor. This is fish, and we have not done a ton of back warmth. So maybe right here where I'm at, with that back on the block and my elbows pushed into the floor looking to the sky, this might be what feels good for you. It's kind of what feels good for me, but I'm going to show you more. I think it's all going to feel good. You start to walk down. Your shoulder blades kind of hit right at the edge of where that block is. Now, again, I'm supporting my neck with my hands. If you had something you could put under it, that would be fine. Lengthen your legs long. If that feels good, maybe you want to keep your knees bent. You can do this without blocks, it's just much harder. Your hands theoretically should be by your side, but again, I'm using my hands to give just a little lift to my neck, because if I go back too far, that's where that torn ligament is. But I'll show you for just a quick moment, so it looks like this. It is kind of nice though to have my arms back by my side because it lets my chest open just a little bit more. Bend your elbows in. Push yourself up to seated in a way that feels good for you. You get out of it how it feels right. And we're going to find that very last position. It's the one that I showed you there at the very beginning. So you have one block on its low level, one block mid-level, or high level if you can balance on that. And they've got like 6-ish inches or so away from each other. And you lay back so that your mid-back again is on that, and then your head rests on the block. And you just kind of have to play. Allow your arms to open out to the side. I love my knees falling in together for this. Some people like Supta Baddha Konasana with your feet together and knees out to the side. Some people like legs extended. Truly find what feels right to you. And you might find different moments feel better at different times. Focus on your breath. Feel this connection with the earth, this expansive heart opening. I'm curious to get an inside peek into how I use those themes like the National Park this week to frame up classes. Check out a video that was posted of behind the class on YouTube. You get a kind of inside peek into my brain, which is scary, sorry. Notice how as you lie here longer, you might start to feel certain areas open. Like really, you should be feeling that chest expansion, chest opening. That's what I want. Little by little, bring yourself out of this position. There's really no eloquent way to do it. I personally like to roll to my side, kind of come off that block that's behind you, and then bring ourselves to seated. Sit up tall. Maybe you sit on the block again. One last moment to focus on your breath. Use this feel of heart opening, chest expansion, like a bird flying in the wind, to go into the rest of your day or the end of your day with a renewed sense of energy, calmness, and pure gratitude for everything the earth and the world gives us. I'd love to know what you thought of this more gentle yoga style class on Friday or whenever you choose to do it. I've been considering shifting this to a gentle yoga class. Please leave comments and thoughts. Until next time, I'm Summer. Thank you.